Howdy, howdy. Welcome back to #Taylor's Star Trek Mission. Miss Taylor is watching all of Star Trek for the first time in release order. So while we were watching Star Trek Enterprise, we tossed on Star Trek Nemesis, the final Berman-era Star Trek movie. What did you think about it?
I thought it was really good. It was a huge comeback from Insurrection. I liked it more than I expected because my expectations were on the floor.
Right.
It was a great movie for Riker and Choi fans since it opened with their wedding. That was kind of cool to finally have that officially. I kind of enjoyed Worf's misery during the wedding because I mean, it was a little too comical, but I think he's mourning Jadzia.
Yeah, we were like, oh, he misses Jadzia.
Yeah, oh, this is so sad for him. He misses his wife. And, I don't know if any of his friends even know that he was married and lost a wife. The adventure starts with Data finding his head. I think that is hilarious that we always are finding little pieces of the android, all over the universe.
Data loses his head a lot.
He loses his head a lot. It's, found in the past, back in the future. There's an arm, there's a head. I don't know. It's funny. And it was cool to see some of the Romulan things coming back in. I was surprised to see Tom Hardy. I didn't know he was in this. I was like, oh, this guy reminds me of Bane. And then you're like, oh, surprise, surprise.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
I thought that the Shinzon stuff reminded me a lot of the Xavier stuff in X-Men. And it was definitely because Patrick Stewart
was
is the anchor.
A younger actor playing a different version.
And it was kind of funny because sometimes Tom Hardy would be acting, I'm like, wow, he reminds me so much of James McAvoy. And then I was like, oh, because they're both emulating Patrick Stewart.
Right.
It was really good though. You could see a lot of work there in the acting. I thought it was fun having the antithesis of Picard, and seeing him as a kid. That's gotta be such a weird thing as a person. He has so much weird stuff happen to him throughout his Starfleet career, and I think this is probably one of the weirdest, but I don't think it peaks like the Borg, but why he is the way he is and who he is and how he could have been raised differently, and I think that all is very interesting. It kind of begs that question, nurture versus nature, depending on how you're raised and how your life is.
What did you think about the ending?
Well, I loved Riker going off to be a captain, finally. I'm hoping that he gets a really cool first officer. Wink, wink. Maybe it's Worf. But Data death was surprising. I really thought that they were gonna be oh, surprise, B4 is actually gonna be Data now and utilize his body and just download Data back into him. But I guess they really did. I feel like Geordi would have a backup of Data to do that, So I feel like he's not really dead. I can't believe it because he's an android. I feel like there's so many ways that they could bring him back. So I don't feel as sad about his death because I feel like it might be a fake death.
Okay, well, there's still a lot of Star Trek to watch, so
yeah.
we will find out.
Cool.